Welcome to the third and final part of this series of vertical versus horizontal morality. If you want to learn more about that, you can go watch my first video, and within that is going to be the TikTok where I watched the video that sort of explains this. It was a TikTok that I watched, and this is new information to me. This, again, as I've said, this is a 31, almost 32-year project I've been working on. I kind of thought I knew where I was at. I'm super glad that it has sort of drug its feet, because it was only going to be one book until January 2020, and here we are in the middle of 2022, and it has just gotten the width, breadth, and depth of the enterprise as it has become has just gotten exponentially big. Of course, I have a lot of higher expectations out of what I am doing now, but this really did sort of make a very big impression on me. But anyhow, this particular one is going to be more about how it is a relationship with the world, particularly, I guess you could say, the vertical part of it all. Because the horizontal part is basically where I'm at and how I've sort of lived my life. I pretty much see people equally. You know, one may be more interesting than the other, but we're running parallel through life. One is not above or below the other. I do think that it is important to know if someone ascribes to a vertical or horizontal, because it is going to tell you how they may treat you in the future. Do I think that this is an absolute process? For the most part, I do believe that it is. I know that I may say sexist or whatever sort of comments to put someone below me, but it's meant to be just a childish triggering thing because I know it may get on someone's nerves. We've all engaged in this. Don't try to come for me. Like I said, you ain't no better than me. Same playing field. If you view different races, such as black or Asian people, if you want to also say women or children or gays, if you feel that you are above or below them for some reason, then you would subscribe to a vertical morality spectrum. And personally, I think that that is a very toxic sort of mentality. It gives a way for authoritative behaviors. It makes it easier for people to steal or murder from another person because they don't view them as an equal. I think for the most part, presidents and billionaires, governors, even some police, I think for the most part, they all subscribe to a system of hierarchy, the vertical structure. I would also say that religion has reinforced the vertical structure for 2,000 years. So if you're deeply ascribed to religion, particularly if you're a woman, you are basically put lesser than a man. I will go into that more, as this subject really does fit with the second book. It will come into the third book as well. But my second book, Tornado in the Garden of Eden, which is sort of going to kind of really go in after religion, this does really apply. So I am going to take this information, and it's going to be a few years, 2 years probably, before the second book comes out. So I've got a lot of time to kind of process it, and kind of, there is 1,000 moving parts to the enterprise that I'm working. I did want to kind of say something, though, regarding sort of the patriarchy within your family. Like the mother or the grandmother, depending on where you are in that family structure, is sort of like the glue that holds it together. I don't really think that this really applies to vertical versus horizontal, because really that is sort of like a microculture within your home, because not everyone is going to have the same experiences. I don't think that most people are going to say, well, all moms are the bosses. Now, my mother would have been classified, as I'm saying and defending, or now proving otherwise, my mother was a vertical morality kind of person, because one of the things that she would always say, because I'm the mom, which means that she was superior over me. And that's not to be taken lightly, because she really drove that home. I was not worth, and still, and any man in her life is not worth anything as far as she's concerned. Even her latest Facebook page, I noticed that she's was taking a new job, and she was really glad that there was going to be no men there. So that also can be sort of a trauma response, because in with that subject is sort of like racism. Now, I have a couple of traumatic experiences that happened with my mother and my grandfather that sort of made them racist, and I can't really speak for them either. For the most part, they were a vertical morality sort of person, but I do think that some of their racism was a trauma response, because my grandfather and my mother and stuff like that, when it comes to people with a disability, such as a mental birth defect kind of thing, they never treated them any lesser of a person. And when it comes to Native Americans, they were very supportive. I've never ever heard my grandparents or my mother say anything bad about Native Americans. It's, like I said, it's not an absolute thing. You have to kind of think about where your motives are. I'll just leave it at that. I hope that you found this interesting. I know that I really, really found this just mesmerizing. And today's August 1st. It's been a couple days. I did the response video of the first video part after the TikTok video. That was made today. So was the second, and now this third part, all made today. So I've had a couple days to kind of process it. And I know that as I have watched other TikToks or other videos, and people have said different things to one another, I find myself saying, well, that's because they subscribe to vertical or horizontal morality, and this is the issue. So I hope that when you sort of process this information, that you start seeing the world in those same set of eyes. And I don't know if this is where I hang my coat on that hook on the wall, and this is where I say, okay, this is what makes sense. I don't know if this is going to be just another step in this process of morality. I did kind of speak about morality and how I kind of came to my morality once I pulled religion out of it, because I think for the most part, I think that most people get their morality from what they think is religious. Religion tells you not to do it. That's a moral thing. Or you may ascribe to a very strict system of government. So then that's where you get your morality. And I don't think those are right. Those are just pieces that belong into vertical or horizon. I'm not going to beat it anymore. I don't really have any more to say on this subject. I just wanted to kind of split it up because I did feel that they needed to be kind of addressed separately. And just like in the previous videos, if you like this video, if you have questions, comments, thoughts on the matter, is this something new, please leave it in the comments. Like this video if you would. I really like the engagement. It really kind of tells me, what are your thoughts on it? I may even use a comment or something that you've said and put it in my second book. Just become part of history. Like I said, I hope that you found this interesting, and have a wonderful and great day. Bye.